If I asked you who discovered the secret of life, the structure of DNA, most of you would immediately say Watson and Crick. Their names are etched into every biology textbook in America. But what if I told you that the most important piece of evidence in their discovery was actually stolen? Behind the famous double helix lies the story of a woman whose brilliant mind decoded our genetic blueprint, but whose name was nearly erased from history. This is the story of Rosalind Franklin. The year was 1951. In the damp labs of King's College London, a high-stakes race was underway. Scientists across the globe were scrambling to figure out what DNA actually looked like. While James Watson and Francis Crick were building cardboard models in Cambridge, Rosalind Franklin was doing the hard, dangerous work. She was an expert in X-ray crystallography, a technique that required immense patience and precision. She wasn't just guessing, she was capturing the invisible. After 100 hours of X-ray exposure and days of mathematical calculations, Rosalind captured it. Photo 51. It was the most beautiful and clear image of a DNA molecule ever taken. To the untrained eye, it looked like a simple X made of blurry dots, but to a scientist, that X was the unmistakable signature of a helix. Rosalind knew she was close to the truth. She wanted to be 100% certain before she published her findings. She was a perfectionist in an era that had no room for a woman's mistakes. Then the unthinkable happened. Her colleague, Maurice Wilkins, with whom she had a strained relationship, took photo 51 from her files and showed it to his friend, James Watson. When Watson saw the image, he later wrote that his jaw fell open and his pulse began to race. That single photo provided the exact measurements Watson and Crick needed to finish their model. They published their work in 1953, barely giving Rosalind a footnote. Rosalind Franklin never knew how much her photo had helped them. She moved on to study viruses, making groundbreaking discoveries there too. But in 1958, at the age of only 37, she passed away from ovarian cancer, likely caused by her years of unprotected exposure to X-rays. 4 years after her death, Watson, Crick, and Wilkins stood on a stage in Stockholm to accept the Nobel Prize. Rosalind's name wasn't called. Because the Nobel Prize is not awarded posthumously, she was ineligible. But more than that, for decades, she was portrayed as a difficult assistant rather than the genius architect of the discovery. Today, the world is finally waking up. We now recognize that without Rosalind Franklin's photo 51, the discovery of DNA might have been delayed for years. She was the woman who saw the blueprint of life before anyone else. She didn't work for the fame, she worked for the truth. And it's time we remember her name.